Republicans are hitting the pause button on plans to vote on their Senate health care bill this week. That's because they're worried it won't have enough votes to pass. They'll now have until next week to try to sway votes, but it looks like they'll have a tough battle ahead of them. Mike Emanuel has more on tonight's top story.
This will be great if we get it done, and if we don't get it done, it's just going to be something that we're not going to like, and that's okay, and I understand that very well. But I think we have a chance to do something very, very important for the public.
All 52 senators were invited to the White House to huddle with the president after shelving one of his signature campaign promises.
It's a very complicated subject. I remember how challenging it was for the Democrats when they were enacting this back in 2009 and 2010. We're still optimistic we're going to get there.
I believe we will get to yes. It's going to take more discussions. And the most critical question is, how do we lower premiums? That's been my central focus from the beginning.
Chuck Schumer, the Senate Democratic leader, wasn't ready to unfurl the victory banner just yet.
We know the fight is not over. That is for sure. We're not resting on any laurels.
The numbers for the majority leader just didn't add up. It started with at least 4 of McConnell's GOP senators who said they would not support the procedural motion to proceed. As the day wore on, those numbers grew, and after the bill was pulled, even more Republican no's came out of the woodwork. The GOP leadership was stuck.
I'm not willing to accept that we are not going to be successful, because I think the consequences are very bad.
Democrats say McConnell's about to start cutting deals and criticize the process.
Senator McConnell, as the Republican leader, has a stack of chips in front of him that he's going to be playing for each Senate vote.
To have a bill that was done in a back room with a limited number of people to give input, with probably a lot of cigars and steak and whiskey involved, is a bunch of garbage.
Yet Republicans hope to find a solution. And while he was one of the original 4 no votes, one conservative critic told Fox Today he just didn't want to rush it.
We need to fix these collapsing markets that are Obamacare. We've got to drive premiums down. And so what I want is, first of all, the time to consider this thoroughly, to allow my constituents in Wisconsin a chance to review it, provide their valuable input and feedback. And I'm not asking months, but let's take a couple weeks.
When leaving the White House, Leader McConnell said he has a really good chance of getting there with health care reform. It will just take a little more time. The concern for Republicans being sometimes time can stiffen the resistance. On Capitol Hill, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Hawaii Democratic Senator Brian Schatz is also speaking out about the Republicans' health care bill, saying that it would do more harm than good to the people who need it most.
You know, the sad thing about this bill is that it has been done on a totally partisan basis, and that it doesn't really reform the health care system. All it is an $800 billion cut to Medicaid in exchange for an $800 billion tax cut for people who are making more than $200,000 a year.
Again, voting will not take place until after the July 4th recess.